Okay, as a first property, we shall discuss the linearity property. So to begin with, let's consider two signals, x1 of n and x2 of n. The set transform of x1 of n is x1 of z, which is obviously summation n equals minus infinity to plus infinity x1 of n z raised to minus n, and x2 of n after z transform gives x2 of z, that is obviously summation n equal to minus infinity to plus infinity x2 of n z raised to minus n. So we have considered two signals and their respective z transforms. Now let us consider another signal, say x of n, which is obtained by superposing these two signals or weighted sum of these two signals. Say some a x1 of n plus b x2 of n, correct, where a and b are any two constants. Now the set transform of this signal x of n is a x1 of z plus b x2 of z. That is, the set transform of weighted linear combination, weighted sum of two signal is the same weighted linear combination of their respective z transform. There is an advantage of this property. If you can represent a signal, any complex signal, as weighted combinations of some arbitrary simple some simple signals, then you can find out the set transform of such complex signal using the linearity property. Fine. So using the linearity property, one may find the z transform of complex signals by representing such complex signals as linear combinations of simple signals whose z transform is known. Fine. The proof of this property is really simple. So by definition, x of z is equal to summation n equal to minus infinity to plus infinity x of n z raised to minus n. Now let us substitute for x of n. X of n is nothing but a x1 of n plus b x2 of n. Then this is our x of n. Now z raised to minus n. So you can split this as summation n equals minus infinity to plus infinity a x1 of n z raised to minus n plus summation n equal to minus infinity to plus infinity b x2 of n z raised to minus n. Since a and b are constants, you can take these things outside the a and b, outside the summation, because the summation is over the index n. Therefore, I can rewrite this as a into summation from n is equal to minus infinity to plus infinity x1 of n z raised to minus n plus b summation n equal to minus infinity to plus infinity x2 of n z raised to minus n. Fine? Good. Now, by definition, summation n equal to minus infinity to plus infinity x1 of n z raised to minus n is nothing but x1 of z, and summation n equal to minus infinity to plus infinity x2 of n z raised to minus n is nothing but x2 of z. So our x of z is nothing but a x1 of z plus b x2 of z. So we have proved. As an example, let us find the Z transform of the signal x1 or x of n, which is equal to 3 2 raised to n minus 4 3 raised to n u of n. Okay, so before we solve the problem, let us recall the set transform of the signal alpha raised to n u of n. We have already solved this, and the result is 1 by 1 minus alpha Z inverse with the region of convergence mod Z is greater than alpha. Okay. Fine. So this is the result we have already discussed in some previous examples. Now let us consider our signal x of n, which can be rewritten as 3 into 2 raised to n u of n plus 4 into 3 raised to n u of n. You can consider this as some a x1 of n plus b x2 of n. So the given signal can be resolved into two signals x1 of n and x2 of n as ax1 of n, where our a is equal to 3 and b is equal to 4. x1 of n is, we shall write here, where x1 of n is nothing but 2 raised to n u of n, and x2 of n is 3 raised to n u of n. So the set transform of our signal x1 of n, that is 2 raised to n u of n, is x1 of z equal to 1 by 1 minus 2 z inverse with region of convergence mod z greater than 2, and the z transform of the second signal, that is x2 of z, is 1 by we use the previous result here, alpha is 3 here, so 1 minus 3 z inverse with the region of convergence mod z greater than 3. Okay, now let's consider the linearity property to find the set transform of our signal. So we just calculated the z transform of x1 of n and x2 of n. Thus we have calculated the set transform of, we have already this result. Our x of n is 3 2 raised to n u of n plus 4 3 raised to n u of n, and we are going to take the z transform. The z transform will be like this. So using the linearity property, you can write it as 3 into z transform of 2 raised to n u of n, that is x1 of n, plus 4 into z transform of 3 raised to n u of n. So x of z is nothing but 3 into z transform of 2 raised to n plus 4 into z transform of 3 raised to n u of n. We already had the z transform of 2 raised to n u of n as 1 by 1 minus 2 raised to n, 1 by 2 z inverse, and the z transform of 3 raised to n u of n is 1 by 1 minus 3 z inverse. So this is our x of z. Now the problem is this: what is the region of convergence? We have just seen that The region of convergence for the first signal is mod z must be greater than 2, and for the second signal is mod z is greater than 3. So for both the signals to converge, we must take the intersection, that is mod z must be greater than 3. So the region of convergence of the signal x of z is mod z greater than 3. Now let's consider another example. Say x of n is equal to cos omega 0 n u of n, and another signal x of n, that is sine omega 0 n u of n. Sorry. Okay, sine omega 0 n u of n. So we make use of Euler's identity, e raised to plus or minus j theta is equal to cos theta plus j sine theta. Sorry, plus or minus j sine theta. So using this identity, one may write cos theta as half e raised to j theta plus e raised to minus j theta. Correct? Therefore, one can write the signal x of n, which is cos omega 0 n u of n, as half e raised to j omega 0 n plus half e raised to minus j omega 0 n. Fine. Now we already had the result of Z transform, alpha raised to n u of n Z transform gives 1 by 1 minus alpha Z inverse with the region of convergence as mod Z greater than alpha. So we make use of this thing here also. So I have to find the Z transform of this signal x cos omega 0 n. So basically I have to find out x of z, which is nothing but the Z transform of this quantity. So making linearity property, I can write the Z transform as 1 by 2 into the Z transform of e raised to j omega 0 n, of course u of n. Sorry, I forgot to write into u of n here, right? Plus 1 by 2 Z transform of e raised to minus j omega 0 n u of n. So to find out the Z transform of this thing, let us identify alpha as e raised to j omega 0 n. So that will give you the Z transform as 1 by 2. The Z transform is 1 by 1 minus e raised to j omega 0. Oh, you may get confused, where we have to identify our alpha as e raised to j omega 0. So you can write e raised to j omega 0 whole raised to n. So instead of alpha raised to n, we have e raised to j omega 0 n. Therefore this alpha is e raised to j omega 0. Then Z inverse plus 1 by 2 into 1 by 1 minus e raised to minus j omega 0 z inverse. Okay. What about the region of convergence of both? So the region of convergence of our signal are so for this region of convergence is mod set must be greater than alpha, mod alpha. So here you can see that e raised to j omega 0 has a radius of 1 unit radius. So mod z must be greater than 1 is the region of convergence. Okay. Now we will just simplify this thing to get a more compact form. Okay. So we already have this result, x of z is equal to 1 by 2 into 1 divided by 1 minus e raised to j omega 0 z inverse plus 1 by 2 into 1 divided by 1 minus e raised to minus j omega 0 z inverse. Now, and of course the region of convergence is mod z greater than 1. Now you can simplify this thing to get, this is left as an exercise for you. You can very simply find the resultant, or else I can solve it for you. 1 by 2 is common factor, then take the LCM, 1 minus e raised to j omega 0 z inverse into 1 minus e raised to minus j omega 0 z inverse. Then here you will have 1 minus e raised to minus j omega 0 z inverse plus 1 minus e raised to j omega 0 z inverse. Okay. Now you can simplify this to get this as 1 minus z inverse cos omega 0 divided by 1 minus 2 z inverse cos omega 0 z plus z raised to minus 2 with the region of convergence mod z greater than 1. In the same way, you can find the z transform of our second signal, that is sine omega 0 in u of n, as explained in the previous example. One can write sine function as 1 by 2j e raised to j omega 0 n minus e raised to minus j omega 0 n u of n. Now you can make use of the linearity property to find x of z as 1 by 2j into z transform of e raised to j omega 0 n u of n minus 1 by 2j e raised to z transform of by 2j into z transform of e raised to minus j omega 0 n u of n. And please check your result. The z transform, upon using all the properties, you can have the final result as Z inverse sine omega 0 divided by 1 minus 2 Z inverse cos omega 0 plus Z raised to minus 2.